Is there a market for my online course? What a great question. Let's talk about it coming up right now on the Rise to the Top podcast. And welcome, my friends, to the Rise to the Top podcast. It's your great and good friend, David Siteman Garland, back with yet another quick episode. But, well, we have some speed going on here today. We're taking on a very important topic, very important subject, which is, is there a market for my online course? And people ask this question all the time, trying to figure out, will my course sell? And is there a market for it? Are people going to spend money on this topic, on this particular topic, whatever it might be, right? So I'm going to give you some guidelines to go through to see if your topic has a market. Now, this, of course, does not take into consideration all the other very important things that go along with the foundation of an online course, right? So meaning that you're going to be showing people that you're a trusted expert and authority in this area, that you know what you're talking about. It's going to be about the positioning. It's going to be about the result of your course, all those different things. That obviously plays a factor as well. But let's just talk at the very basic level. Is there a market for my online course, right? So I'm going to walk you through 3 major questions to ask yourself. Number one, have you sold advice on this topic in a different format? So meaning, let's say you're a coach, a consultant, or anything like that. If you've sold advice on a different format, it can absolutely be an online course. Whether it's one-on-one coaching or speaking or whatever it might be, it can absolutely be an online course. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's online or offline, because anything offline can also be taught online. Great example, someone's been on the show that we've referenced several times, is Rachel Bowman. So Rachel Bowman is an aerialist. So think of Cirque du Soleil up in the sky, right? And what Rachel had experience with was not only she was an aerialist herself, but she has a studio in Los Angeles where she would teach people one-on-one and small group classes, right? And small group classes as well. And realized that's not an online course. That's not even online coaching, but she did it in person. People were paying for this, and she knew that would translate well into an online course. And that's why she has an extremely successful 6-figure course on aerial silks, right? And so the first thing to ask yourself is, have you taught this at some other setting? And if the answer is yet, and people have paid for it, that's a massive green light, okay? Now, you can stop the quiz right there. You can move on with your day. Now, let's say the answer is no. Let's say that you haven't taught this one-on-one, or you haven't taught this in a small group, and maybe you don't have a aerialist studio like Rachel Bowman, right? So what's the second thing to ask? So courses either come from people's experience of teaching others and or their own experience. So if you haven't taught others, right, then the other option would be that you're coming from your own experience, which is great. And that's actually how I started way back in 2010, 2011. That's how I started with my Create Awesome Interviews course, which was my very first online course. I hadn't taught interviews to anyone. I hadn't done any of that, but I had my own experience doing interviews with over 500 online interviews. So I knew that I had the experience to do that, right? And then I also knew there was a market for it because there were other products that were kind of similar to it online. There weren't any specific as heck on interviews, but there were things about creating your own web TV show or creating your own interview series or different things like that. So I knew there was a market for it. So the second thing, if you're coming from personal experience, is, are there other courses or digital products out there on that topic? So maybe it's an online course, maybe it's a membership program, or other types of things online that people are spending money on, right? Is there other courses out there, right? Because that's a great barometer if there's a market. And the answer, if there are other courses out there, there is absolutely a market for that. Now, let's just say that you search and you don't find any courses on it. Well, I'm going to give you the third criteria to ask yourself. Are people spending money on this topic in a different way? Are they attending conferences? Are there speakers? Are there one-on-one coaches? Are there consultants, online, offline? Doesn't matter. Are people spending money on this? That is the question you need to ask, right? Because this is very important, because there's some topics out there, and I can't come up with like one right off the top of my head, but there's topics out there that might be really interesting topics, but nobody's spending money on them. And if that's the case, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time because it's very hard to create a complete market from scratch. You're fighting an uphill battle. Can you do it? Have people done it? Absolutely. They have. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue your dream. If you're thinking, oh my God, no one has ever spent money on this. No one has ever taught this. No one has spent money on this in any way possible, but I'm still going to plow forward. You're going to be fighting a very, very much an uphill battle. I'm not saying it can't be done, but God bless you, it's going to be tricky. So I would say that if you go through those 3 criteria, which is, have you taught someone else a paying person this topic? Are there other courses or things out there on this? Or are people spending money on another way? If the answer to all 3 of those is no, that's a red flag. If you get a yes on any of those, it's a go. It's a go. So any yeses are good. You can have a yes on question 1, a yes on question 2, a yes on question 3. You can have yeses on all of them. You can have all of them. But 3 no's, boy, that would put up my spidey sense and say, you know what? I need to go back to the drawing board and take a better look at this. Because what I would not want you to do is to spend the time and effort and energy to create something that barely has a chance of being profitable. So you want to make sure that there's a market out there before you go down this endeavor. And that's one of the key foundational things that you want to start with your online course. So that is my quick tip here today on the Rise to the Top podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, you can always send me podcast feedback at david@therisetotop.com. You can subscribe on brand new episodes of the Rise to Top podcast every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central. therisetotop.com/subscribe. And by the way, if you were thinking, you know what? I do want to start my course journey right now, and I do not know what to do, and I want to be completely handheld and showed exactly what to do. I would highly recommend my #1 program, Create Awesome Online Courses. You can unlock a special offer just for podcast listeners at therisetotop.com/ actually, that's not even the link. CreateAwesomeOnlineCourses.com/unlock. Try that link. Don't go to therisetotop.com. That's the wrong link. Don't go there, my friends. All right, I will see you next time. It's been David Sutton Garland here on the Rise to Top podcast. And remember, if you want some fluff, you know what to do. Go pet a bunny. Walk right into it.
Hello, my name's Aviva. We're in Daddy's office. Yeah, Daddy's office. It's so much fun. Yeah, really, I'm 4. And I can't wait to go to Nana's. And today is Paul's birthday. And I can't wait for his birthday. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait. Yeah, really fun. Yeah, really fun. Yeah, really fun. And I can't wait. Okay, I'm done talking.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.